Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How are we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7. And I must say, I picked the worst day, like the actual worst day in the history of the world to sleep in instead of stay up and do a video on E7 because I was not feeling great last night. So I just passed out. I couldn't make it until patch release time, and boy, it was a bad day. There are some juicy things. I did watch everything ahead of time because it is April 1st and you never know what kind of shenanigans are happening. So I wanted to make sure things were correct and not just April Fools. That said, my April Fools is canceled. I'm not doing one this year. I did one last year. If you want to see it, it's in the link description below. I still get hate for it to this day, and I still get people mad at me about it. So LOL, I'm sorry, but the April Fools is in there if you want to see it. So we'll go through this really quickly here because this is not the important part. The important part are the characters in a second. We've got chapter 10 coming out. We've got two really good pieces of gear, a attack set, or not an attack set, a crit damage set and a crit damage pair of boots. Crit damage set chest is very solid. Crit chance, crit damage, speed, HP, all the stats you want. Same with the boots, all the stats you want. They're both fantastic pieces of gear. The Guild War Challenge season is coming out here. We've got ranks for frames showing for the top 100 in Guild War. That's awesome as well. They're also getting rid of the no tower strat, so that is something that's going to be gone for sure. We're not going to have to deal with that anymore, although I don't think we ran into it once. I'm sitting in like rank 15 to 35 or so. There's a bunch of other stuff coming out. I'll let you read all this if you want. It's mostly just filler. Minor fixes here and there, but nothing too changing. We also have Victorious Flag, which is the new Proof of Valor, and I really need to think about this one a little bit. I'm unsure of how to handle this. We've got 8% increase and decrease in elemental advantage and disadvantage damage taken and damage done. I'm not sure how this is going to work. It's going to 16%, I believe, when it's max. And I feel like it's just not as good as Proof of Valor and used in the same situation. So maybe it's going to be good for some sort of DPS. You bring maybe like a carrot. I'm not sure, but carrot has really good stuff, because I feel like for straight up baits, it's going to be better. Other things are going to be better, but for people that are wanting to do DPS as well, maybe this will shine. You can't use it on stuff like the General Purgus and Fighter Maya because it only applies for Earth, Ice, and Fire. One I'm going to have to think about quite a bit more. We've got Alabastron with the absolutely ridiculously amazing art. Absolutely love Kisei's art, Kisei's outfit. Everything about her is just fantastic. Increase the caster's effectiveness by 35% and has a 50% chance to increase the caster's speed for 1 turn at the end of the caster's turn. I think this is another good artifact, but I don't know who it's going to be used for and how good it's going to be. Specifically because I feel like Thief has a lot of really good artifacts already, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's going to work. It's really inconsistent. Even at the highest level, it is still inconsistent. The most important part here for a lot of people, Japanese media pack is coming. We can see all the things coming here. Unfortunately, there is no Elena JP voice, so we can't hear Blessing of the Stars in JP, which is very unfortunate for me. I really want to hear what it sounds like in that version, but I'm sure it'll come later. One of the things I'm begging them for, I'm constantly prodding Desperado, if you're watching, I'm constantly prodding you for this. And that's the ability to individualize what voice a character has. They might not want to do this because it kind of jumbles up the voices in the game. Like if you have a JP person speaking English next to a KR version, it might screw things up a little, and it might bring out a little bit of the like environment or the atmosphere, I guess is the right word. But I would really like that. Like I would want to change a ton of people's voices to JP, but there's no way I'm changing Araminta to JP for an example. So that's pretty cool. Also, a bunch of other stuff is happening here. None of this is super important except for this, and that's Montmorency is finally, I don't know why I'm saying finally, Montmorency is getting a connection. Going to be available as a connection right at the start of the game. This is the best change I think they've done in a long time. One of the best additions they've ever made for new players. I love this. This is my favorite thing. I love that people have no excuse now for not having Montmorency. I think every single new account should be building her pretty much without question. Even older accounts should be building her as well. And I think, and I hope one of the things they do is add a line of the adventures path to fully 5-star, fully awaken, fully specially change Montmorency and help out with the runes and stuff too, because I think new players should be kind of prodded to specially change Montmorency because it helps out so much. I really hope that's something they decide to add for the adventures path. So there's a bunch of other crap here. We don't care about that. Let's get into it. So 2 new heroes we're getting. This is what I wanted to talk about. That's why I talk so fast. Skip so many things. Don't matter. Don't care. Angelica. I actually had to watch this because I was worried it was going to be a it's so awesome. And April Fools. Look at that. Look at that. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I will link these videos in the description below. You need to watch them yourself as well. Especially the first like 3 minutes of both of these, because they talk about the hero's backstory, which is really cool, especially with Angelica. They talk about the drawing and stuff like that and their design choices. Love the design choices. They're basically an occult girl at this point. They've got the parasol, they've got the everything, they've got the everything. She's perfect. These are her stats: 23.8% effect resistance, instant concentration. This is very important because she also has a 30% base effect resistance through her awakenings, which means she has 54% effect resistance just right out the gate, which is insane. She'll be up to something like 130% with a ring. And then substats, she's going to have a lot of ER, and that's very important for her skill set. She's got really high speed, 108 base speed, really low HP, which doesn't matter too much with her skill set, I think, and decent defense as well. So let's take a look at her abilities. Her first skill 3 is Dark Salvation, whips up a vortex of darkness and loathing, LOL. Granting immortality to the caster for 2 turns, grants increased attack and speed to all allies except the caster for 2 turns. So this is immortality to herself for 2 flipping turns. Let's hope we don't find any buff extensions and or cooldown decreases for Dark Salvation 2, because that will be nuts. So like combining this with Iseria or something like that, I'm not sure. Also, attack and speed buff to everybody else on the team. Really amazing. It's on a low cooldown too. And this combos with her entire skill set. Soul Harvest is a very targeted ability, much like the next character we're gonna look at. It's a very targeted at the current meta ability. So when the caster is immortal, enemies cannot be revived, and all allies recover health every time an enemy dies. Amount recovered increases proportional to the target's max HP. Can only be activated once per turn. So enemies cannot be revived. Insane. Obviously there to counter people like May Chloe and Arbiter Vildred and stuff like that. Apparently Extinction wasn't good enough. Gotta throw it on a passive. So that's an insane ability. And then we have Debilitating Strike, which is also insane. I wasn't expecting this good of a skill 1. This is one of the better skill 1s I've seen. When she's immortal, it triggers a dual attack from the ally with the highest attack. So it's 100% dual attack chance if she's immortal, and she's immortal a lot, and she doesn't have a skill 2, so she's going to be dual attacking a lot, and also has a 65% chance to decrease attack for 1 turn, which is just bonkers. What a character. She is going to be so good. She is a 4-star dark unit, so expect to see her in the Mystic rotation. I am going to stop summoning for ML Charlotte right as of me speaking right now, and I'm going to be saving up until I can get her, because I'd honestly rather have Angelica over the Charlotte, because I love the Angelica design. These type of like occult girl style people are pretty much my favorite characters, especially when they have parasols like she does. So I'm very excited. Wait, does she have a parasol? Is that just her hat? Oh, she does. She does. She does. Okay. Whew. I thought it might have just been her hat. Anyways, number 2, Big Boob Roana. Here she is. Thighs, chest, belly, hair. Everything you could possibly want in a character. You can tell their descriptors when they design this character. But let's take a look at her animation here. Cool galactic animation. Again, make sure you watch this starting, because they do a wonderful job at explaining and introducing her character. These are her stats. Earth Soul Weaver, 98 speed, No ER bonus, health concentration for both of them, really high defense, really average HP, low speed. Her skills are 100% focused to counter other specific units, maybe a Charles or SSB. I'm not sure how good this is going to do versus Charles, but I think versus SSB, this is going to be monstrous. So the way this works is recovers health of all allies when an ally is attacked by an extra attack, a counter attack, or a dual attack, and increases combat readiness of all allies by 5% each. Hiccup. Per ally attacked. Hiccup. Amount recovered is proportional to the caster's max HP and the number of attacked allies. So, for example, your SSB or enemy's SSB procs their skill to counter on you. You're going to boost your combat readiness by 20% for the whole team, or 15% in Guild War, and also increase HP proportionate to those amount of allies, so 3 or 4 people, and the caster's max HP. Insane. Absolutely bonkers. Also works the same thing with Charles. When Charles does his extra attack here, he's going to do the combat readiness boost again, only 5% from Charles. So this is why I don't know how much of an effect this is going to have on Charles. But SSB, it should have a pretty massive effect. Like, having her on your team against SSB should be huge. We also have another ability here, Noble Recos. This is just like Chloe's skill 3, where it grants revive to all allies, but it instead of increasing attack, it recovers HP instead. So a really good ability here, but there's no buts. Really good ability. Revive is great. Accessible revive is fantastic, especially when combining with everything else. And then her skill 1, Soul Purification. I really like this. I've been waiting for a barrier-based unit. I thought we were going to get more like an Arrowwell style or a Fallen Cecilia style eventually as a passive, but I will take more skill 1 versions of it. This is just another way to make Celestine a little different. Like, it's a little different than having your skill 1 heal. It's a little different having the barrier here. It allows you to have a bigger barrier if they scale it this way. I'm not sure if they're going to, but it allows bigger barriers. And really, really great ability. And having the AoE barrier for the entire team seems really solid as well. So yeah, that's Roana here, and we have our artifact as well. I'm not sure what to think about this one. Covers health of all allies by 5% after being attacked. This effect can only be activated once per turn. Not sure what to think about this one because we have such great Soul Reaver artifacts. At max level, it's 10%, and let's be real, not many people are getting max level, so we really have to look at this at 15, which is about 7.5%. So is that worth it? Once per turn, 7.5% heal to all allies? Honestly, it might be, with combining her other passive she has. Combining that with this might just be enough to like just full heal after all things. And you also have to remember, if she gets attacked, like let's say SSB does her thing, she also gets the 20% CR herself and it does the heals, so she'll be more likely to take a turn before anything else happens, which kind of nullifies the once per turn thing. So I'm undecided on a lot of these artifacts. I really need to see in practice how they work. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate it. As always, remember to like and to comment and to subscribe. It helps out so much. They even ask you to do it in their video here, and you should be. You should be subscribed to the Epic 7 thingy and hitting like on all the videos. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you folks later. Bye, everybody!